hope it keeps the pace this time.
Hopefully it does. Alright guys, we are back. Superheroes playing HoN, playing against TZP, TangZangPang. Game 1 going TZP's way in about 45 minutes, as they played a slightly tighter game than SpH did. Not to say that they played particularly well, they just didn't make quite as many mistakes. And I think we've beaten that horse well to death, so let's move on and talk about Game 2 instead. First couple of bans from SpH are Magmus and Parasite. Catlamming going to take out Cthulhuphant, and I'm going to assume Swiftblade as his second ban, because that's pretty much what always happens. And if he doesn't do that, I'm going to predict a first pick Swiftblade. So, let's see where either side chooses to go for. But Magmus versus Kraken. Common debate these days, and it seems like on both sides they consider Magmus a slightly more valuable hero, as they've chosen to ban him out over Kraken. I tend to agree. I like Kraken a lot, but I think Magmus has a little bit more potential because his stun is better, and his ulti is, in most situations, a little bit more useful. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good description of the hero. It's
Kraken.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly because of that stun, which is so valuable when you pick up the Porky. You can like get 2 free stuns. Kraken doesn't really have that potential, even though his ultimate can be very, very good in certain lineups and stuff like that. And obviously, I mean, it's not always that you should pick up the Magmus before the Kraken, but in general, most lineups go well or better with the Magmus than the Kraken, because it's safer.
Kraken's a little bit better of a laner. That's perhaps the only advantage that he has. He also is a little bit tankier, which is a large part of the reason why he's a better laner. But
yeah, and he's in the Pirates of the Caribbean as well.
That's true. He's famous. It's very important.
Magmus? Yeah, so you can't pick up Gladiator against him, because Gladiator is a pirate.
Gladiator's not always a pirate. Sometimes Gladiator.
I know, but at times you can pick up pirate avatars then.
Yeah. Gladicus Beardicus. That's one of the very few limited edition alt avatars I have. Anyway, first pick Ophelia on SpH side, which is really iffy for me. I mean, if you're gonna first pick a jungler, I feel like it should be Tempest at this point, with Parasite banned out.
I think that if you first pick Ophelia, you need to have a plan behind it at least. You need to be able to go offensive, for example, or you need to have a very strong push lineup, like for example with a Soul Reaper, no, with the Defiler or whatever, something that's very, very directed towards push at least, because otherwise he's gonna fall off, and then he's not farming in early as fast as a Tempest, for example. And right now I feel like, okay, they got a Glacius, but at the same time I don't feel like Glacius is necessarily the best support hero in the early levels. Not to man up again, or not to man up with at least. So yeah, I think they are actually going to run the Ophelia in safe, or in their own forest, which is very questionable.
Well, at this point, the other thing I'm concerned about right now for the Legion side is where is their damage.
Yeah, yeah, that too. Like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's what kind of I felt as well. Like they can man up because they have nothing right now. I mean, Bubbles is good 1 versus 1, but Kraken versus Bubbles, for example, I mean, that's pretty even. And you always want to rate farm higher on the Kraken than on the Bubbles.
And the other thing I'm a little bit weirded out about is, why would you second pick a Tempest after the other side takes Ophelia? I get that you want the Kraken-Tempest combo, but you can third pick it. It's not like they're going to pick a Tempest and the Ophelia.
Yeah, I think it's mostly, or like at least the reasoning for how like we are thinking in Prime Icarus when we're drafting. It's like if we pick up for example, a Tempest at the second pick, it's more like we're not gonna show anything to our opponents. We're not gonna give anything away, and therefore
I understand
we pick
that.
up the Tempest.
I understand that logic, and I think it makes sense as one of the first 3 picks in general, or as like a third pick before the second banning stage. But because the only way you're going to get Tempest in this situation is if you second or third pick it, because if you don't, it's probably going to get banned out in the second banning stage. So you're going to have to second or third pick it. I don't think that having the additional pick as the Legion side's third pick to respond to the Tempest is enough to justify waiting and having that hero available to the Hellborn side, as well as not making it obvious, because you are also giving away that you're running a jungler. So, for example, if you pick a support as your second hero, that doesn't tell the other team anything.
That's true. That's true. But Yeah, at like looking at the hero pool, at least I feel like, I mean, if you're not picking Tempest, then yeah, you don't really know what you're doing, you know. But you can't really man up versus an Ophelia, so you have to play passive, and the only way to do that would be to have a like run a Magnus or something and pull the lane, which is not possible either because Ophelia can also be offensive. So you kind of need to have a forest hero, and the only one
Right.
that's like capable of that, or the best option at least, is the Tempest.
No, I agree. I think they should pick a Tempest. I'm just saying I think that they should second pick a support hero and third pick a Tempest. And even if you're not going to second pick a because I think that accomplishes the same thing. It doesn't tell you what you're doing necessarily because supports are generally pretty.
Yeah, it depends on what your third pick is, though. It can be something different than the support. It can be, you know, like a Pebbles, for example, that tells a lot,
Right.
or like
Right. So if you
like
if you
just use.
second pick a Pebbles, for example, I don't think that the Legion side can do enough with one pick to counter that
Mm,
substantially.
well, they
Depending on
cannot
what
do a
hero it
lot, or they
is.
cannot do a bit at least, though. And
Right. And the question is that more valuable than having access to the hero that you might lose because you give it to the Legion side?
yeah, but there are a lot of options. Like
Mm-hmm.
I get obviously what you mean, but I also feel like if you third pick the Pebbles instead of second pick him, for example,
Mm-hmm.
the enemy team is not going to have any opportunity at all to pick up a hero that's good versus the Pebbles as their
Right.
third pick, because when you get into the banning or second banning draft, you like get rid of every hero that's good versus Pebbles, for example, or if there's something specific that's good versus your like third hero pick. That's like the main thing. So usually the hero that you pick number third should be something that's a little bit more crucial, or something that's like can be countered by specific heroes, and therefore if you pick it at a third spot, you can just ban out everything that's good versus him. If you get
Okay.
what I mean. For example, if they would have picked up Soul Stealer as the third pick, there's plenty of heroes that are very, very good versus the Soul Stealer.
Yep.
But if you take them away in the second banning pick, I mean, the Legion team can do nothing about that if you draft it in that position.
That's fair. That's just two ways of looking at it, I suppose. I think the lesson we've all learned is just second pick support hero. Wait till third pick Tempest. That's fine. Whatever. Legion side and
Yeah, let's
Howard
go
side,
on.
in fact, has finished off their banning stage. So Legion are going to take out Puppet Master Silhouette and Wretched Hand, focusing mostly on that short lane option. Hellborn going to take out
No,
Rage
another
Train,
Pharaoh.
Drunken Master, and Ravenor as they remove most, well, sort of different stuff. Mostly initiators, I guess. And potentially short laners as well, as all those three heroes could play that lane. Legion's not going to finish off their draft with Moon Queen and Kinesis. Hellborn going to last pick Soul Stealer and Pharah once again, as Cat Lomain didn't have a great game last game, but I guess they won, so you
Yeah,
can't argue with
please. I don't
that.
want to see the Pharaoh again. Tell them to stop, Quincy.
I don't know, man. It made sense
What's he
before
good
that because they
against?
had a Tempest, but now
Yeah, exactly. Like, what's he good against?
he's gonna stop that
Nothing.
Glacius ultimate, man.
Yeah, exactly. More or less.
Okay, now this game, if he doesn't get a puzzle box, I don't know what to say. Because if you don't get a puzzle box
Neither.
against a Moon Queen and a Glacius ultimate, like, I
If he even gets the money, like, he has to step up to suicide plays
okay,
before
well
that.
that's last game he had like 300 plus GPM. He actually did okay in farm in the
Yeah.
end.
But 8 GPM during laning phase or something,
Well,
1
yes,
or 0.4 or something, so.
yeah,
But
that
yeah,
wasn't
we'll see. I mean, he had plenty of time to farm up, since Mageman was doing all the hard work, I guess.
great. But
And Kinesis, once again, is going for the Marchers. Actually, the same suicide heroes for both teams, and we
yeah,
saw how it went for both teams. Like,
I don't
both of them
understand
died
this.
3 or 4 times each. God.
Now,
Okay, I just hope that we're not gonna see another replay of last game.
I will give Legion some credit. The first question we asked after seeing their first three picks was, where is their damage? And after that, they picked Moon Queen and Kinesis. So
Yeah,
now we know where their
props to that
damage
at least.
is, at least. Yeah. And they've got actually a
But
fair
they're
bit
still
of
gonna need a lot of
lockdown, some pretty
levels.
solid push. But yeah, this is a reasonably... It's not all that greedy, even. They don't need a ton of items. They've got to focus this Moon Queen, and having a jungler means that she doesn't get any stacks. So they have to stack Ancients pretty consistently.
I think they should have been a lot more greedy if they picked it up to Ophelia and planned to go for him or have him in your own forest. Then they should have had something more greedy as a suicide and a mid hero, I feel.
I think if they were going for this, a first pick Tempest would have been much better. I think you stick Tempest in
yeah.
this lineup, and
But
oof.
then the enemy or the opponents can pick up the Ophelia though, and then you're screwed. Or then you can't pick up the Moon Queen, for example, like I mentioned in the first game. So if they had a plan to go with the Moon Queen, for example, they can't have the Tempest. Also for the fact that Ophelia is one of the heroes in the woods that you don't need to farm with after the laning phase, and therefore Moon Queen can take over the entire forest.
That's true.
Here we're going to see the issue on over at TangZangPang side, for example, that they have the Soul Stealer, which is so dependent on the forest after the laning phase because he got those soul hands and he just needs 500 GPM to be effective. When the Tempest is in his forest, he's not going to have like maybe the 2 top camps is going to be able to farm. But other than that, he's not going to be able to have anything in the forest, and therefore...
Oh, Pharaoh's dead.
I don't know.
What else is
really?
new for Catlamane? Yeah, I mean, there's no way he's getting out of this. They've completely cut him off.
At least he's buying a lot of time.
Yeah, he is. That's true.
And he's getting lane pushed, I think. Yeah, I actually don't think that's too bad, since he got a lane push now.
They're gonna hard deny this, and I think it might stay more or less where it is.
No, it's 2 archers now.
You're right, it's 2 archers, that's the problem. I think if they got the bloodless on anybody other than Moon Queen, it would have been alright, but getting MQ in early start is real bad. Now it's gonna become a problem. Yeah. I'm actually more concerned, not so much about Tempest and Soul Stealer, but about Kraken. Because I think Soul Stealer can farm Ancients in the lane fairly effectively. You can leave Tempest in the woods. I don't know where
but then
Kraken's
he's just gonna be at like 300 GPM though. He needs to take off.
Soul Stealer's gonna be 300 GPM?
Yeah.
Between the lanes
if he
and if the
only
Ancients
is at lane. I guess Ancients could work, but you kind of want your Suicide Hero and Kraken to get something as well, I guess.
That's what I'm saying, because Kraken's not a great Ancients taker.
Oh, okay, you mean like that, okay.
So I'm saying, like, Soul Stealer can take Ancients and take lane farm.
Mid, by the way.
Yeah, they are going to do some aggression there, but jump away from Kraken. He's still going to be in some trouble, actually. Bubbles continuing with the auto attacks, but enough with the tree and the health pot for Kraken to survive, so he just barely gets out of there.
Courier!
Oh, Courier, please no. It's fine. Catman Champion's still looking for it, but it's not going to find it. It's a little bit faster than the Courier is, but the tower will kill a Catman Champion before it gets the Courier. And Ophelia's just like, you're a dead creep now. Yeah, anyway, I think Soul Stealer can take Ancients and can take lane farm, and Tempest can take the woods, and they'll both sustain pretty effectively, but that's going to leave Kraken with basically nowhere to be. So, yeah, between the 3 of those heroes, and then you add a Pharaoh on top of that, somebody's getting nothing here. Like, we have really greedy
yeah, they have a really greedy lineup
in general, and the big problem is nobody can farm the other opposing team's woods super safely. Like with Magebane's Blink or something like that, at least, you know, you've got Blink. So we saw him getting really aggressive because he could do that. He could farm past the river. Top lane, meantime, they will try to catch out this Kinesis, and the Demon Hand's going to finish him off. So, hey, look.
I have no words. Like, I have no clue. Like, he was literally versus
oh my God, did you see that?
versus a pseudo tri-lane. What?
Tempest just had his mana pot cancelled by a Vagabond Leader nuke.
Oh god, no, I didn't see that.
He just put it on and immediately got cancelled by a Vagabond Leader nuke.
Nice.
Ah, well, at least he's gonna stack this camp. Please don't get your second mana pot cancelled. Alright, good.
Was it cancelled? I didn't
No,
see.
it was fine. It went all the way through. Alright.
Alright.
Sorry, I think you were saying something.
No, I was just very curious about what Kinesis is doing in that position. Like, he's up at the freaking camp, the pulled camp, and he's up against the pseudo tri-lane and no vision on the Tempest. Like,
well,
yeah.
At least he has a ward in a place that makes a lot more sense than where Catlamaine's ward was last game, and yet he's still dying. So, is that better or worse? I don't know.
Yeah, he's playing way too aggressive. Like, once again, look at him. If Tempest would have been there, he would have been dead again.
Yeah.
He just can't run up there.
Right. If Tempest is farming that far left hard camp like he is now, then that's a dead Kinesis.
But he didn't stack. So now he's, I don't know.
Well, he doesn't have enough mana really to do too much or anything. He's a Ring Stretcher, I guess.
Yeah, and they got a Rhapsody, which is awesome for clearing stacks in early game. Like, you get Disco Inferno level 2, for example, and you help the Tempest. You can take double and tri-stacks. It's really effective.
The Ring of Swords for you to take your mana up even. Yay.
Now they're coming, but Oh,
Ward's
what
gonna
is
catch everything.
Kinesis doing?
I don't know what his plan is. He's gonna the Glacial Blast and Staccato stuns down. Dance Ward doing a little bit of damage, but actually he might get away. As, yeah, Soul Suit didn't come in time. I'm gonna pop the Mana Pot and the Health Pot. Should be just fine.
Yeah, they stacked their stuns, unfortunately. Rhapsody used the stun at the same time as Tempest used his Glacial Blast, otherwise they would have had him. Because all that was needed was one Demon Hand from Soul Suit.
Yeah. I think they were sort of trying to maximize their dance floor damage, and they didn't really do it all that effectively. Middle lane, in the meantime, actually, Bubbles need to charge through. Kelpro goes on to a couple. Played. They both get the stun. He's going to counter with the kill into Kraken. Oh. That's a pretty serious outplay.
Oh, that was well played by him, for sure.
And he's level 7 now as well. There's Kraken in this middle lane, apparently not doing all that well. Between only at 260 DPM, even after that death. And Bubbles at 340 now. He's going to go in onto this kill for Pharaoh. Silence misses though, and he's not going to have enough for it. Pharaoh now all of a sudden, well, his health bot will be canceled,
he got his,
but
yeah.
Kraken is back. So Cat Lomane has sort of learned from his mistakes. Not enough to not pick Pharaoh and play him Suicide, but enough to stop being Suicide and continuously dying.
It's an improvement, at least.
On the other hand, he's taking Kraken's levels, so... It's better.
I think it was a good attempt, at least, to go on to Bubbles, but I'm not sure what they were thinking about actually going at him when he still has his Shell Surf up. Like, there's no way they can kill him unless either Pharaoh or Kraken is actually level 6.
Right,
and it's just a waste of time.
Was level 5. That was the big problem with that plan, is that they didn't have the follow-up after the Pharaoh initiation to drop the Kraken ult on Bubbles' face. And they will stack Ancients. So, rotations not only from Pharaoh, but from Kraken as well, who has his release the Kraken. Legion side going to push this up a little bit. Moonqueen's actually kind of low on health. She will eat a tree. They're going to drop the rocket. Again, no ultimate from him, so...
In this game, it makes more sense.
Meanwhile, actually, they get a double tap as Bubbles came in for the gank, but a really, really bad timing. Tempest is right here, and they get the counter kill on both him and Kinesis. Surprising. Kraken gonna run away with the charge, and Moonbeam gonna catch Pharaoh out. He will pop the mummy walls, but he's gonna get frozen and killed.
Like, what are they trying to accomplish? He's not level 6. Why are they that far up?
Because reasons.
They can't kill anyone. Yeah, like, I just don't get... What? They were like, okay, top got a double tap, we gotta show our strength down here as well. Let's charge in. Or something.
And let's go in 2v3 without a level 6 on Pharaoh.
Yeah, it's
it
makes 0 sense. Run in with red marchers versus free stunners, good idea.
I don't know. There's some weird stuff going on. Oh well.
Oh wow, look at the GPM on Bubbles, by the way. He dropped quite a significant bit by that. 280.
He's not doing all that great.
I'd really like to see the top lane push in this lane as well, up top. I mean, they even got Ghost Marchers already on freaking Tempest. I mean, Kinesis has absolutely nothing to stop them with. And they have been so focused at the bot lane. I mean, they've been sitting 3 players more or less, Moonqueen, Ophelia, and Glacius at bottom, and they haven't been accomplishing anything. So, I mean, they could have taken 2 top towers by now.
Why are you here? Teleport gonna actually come in. Actually, 2 teleports coming in, and Soul's gonna be in a lot of trouble as he gets locked down. Glacius is here as well. Moonbeam gonna come, and that looks like it's gonna be a death on Rhapsody as well. She gets the Moonbeam off. Bubbles gonna have the Shell Surf back up in a couple of seconds, and there's pretty much no way that Rhapsody's surviving this. Second Moonbeam goes through. Moonqueen is having enough damage on her own to walk down that support and get that 1 kill. Actually, 2 kills.
So when they actually decide to go push the tower, they just dive past it. And they give 2 free kills instead to Legion.
And I was pretty sure that they had enough distance to stun the Kinesis before he got another tower as well. And I don't know if they just didn't hit it or what the hell happened there, but...
I think they just tried to... I don't know actually. It was just bad positioning again, I think.
Well, Moonqueen gonna take over the Catman champion, send it off to the Ancients to go stack some stuff for her.
Tempest is doing really good though, even though he got a mana pool cancelled, or mana pot cancelled. I mean, his GPM is skyrocket high.
Yeah, well, he has 2 all
I guess he
one.
got... Yeah, and I guess he got a tower kill as well, possibly.
I think so.
Nope. Hellborn. But yeah, I like the offensive build but with the Ghost Marchers as well on him. I like to do that personally, to be offensive in early game. Oh. Okay. Okay, nice movement.
He's
For
past the
Iglesias at least.
river with no vision.
Yeah.
Why?
He can't do that. I don't know. I don't know. He needs to stack the woods and pull the lane back, or yeah, farm the woods or something. He can't go up there.
Does he not realize he isn't mage bane anymore? He doesn't have an escape mechanism. He's extremely squishy, and he has no CC tool even. So I don't know. Oh, bottom lane, Legion side's gonna push in a little bit as they're slow pushing this essentially, but HoN Tour gonna respond with Pharaoh and Tempest. Pharaoh actually taking a fair bit of damage though, and he's gonna have to back off. This tower is not in deny range. So
yeah. Tempest should not go for a Mystic Vestment this early into the game. He should go for the Fortified Bracelet instead, if he wants to get tanky. Mystic is not really that helpful in the early game. And Astro would be so much better for his team.
It would. But substantially more expensive. I think I'm okay with investments eventually, but yeah, this might be a little bit too early.
Yeah, it's fine, but he should get it after Astro in that case, because you need like you need like a little bit above 1k, I think, for Vestment to actually be useful, or to be better than a Fortified Bracelet, if I remember correctly.
And actually,
it's something like that at
I'm
least.
completely forgetting this, but anyway, bottom lane. Meanwhile, Moon Queen gonna get in some trouble. The Wisp also comes out. That'll save her for the meantime. I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough to get her. Oh, he's gonna get ported back by the Ophelia, and Moon Queen will be okay now. Here comes the counter from the rest of the Legion side. Immediate burst onto Mix on the Rhapsody. Now, Pharaoh gonna be a little in trouble. Gets his own teammate trapped. You gotta be better about your walls than that with Pharaoh. This is gonna sound weird. I think Cat Lo Main needs to go play Mid Wars and just play Pharaoh over and over and over and over again.
You know what? That sounds like a good idea, because in Mid Wars you actually max the rockets, which is what he's doing. But in competitive you should always max Hellfire. I mean, they would have had to kill a Moon Queen, 100% sure, if he just had the freaking Hellfire before his death.
Not just that, but Mid Wars is a great environment if you're going to play Pharaoh to figure out how to line up your hooks, because there's all sorts of stuff in the way a lot of the time, and so it improves your positioning. And I have learned so much about Pharaoh's money walls from Mid Wars. Like, I am way better at positioning myself so I catch the people that I want to catch, I don't catch my teammates, and I do exactly what I want with those money walls after playing Pharaoh a whole bunch of Mid Wars, because you're just not going to get as many opportunities to practice that in forests. And
exactly. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love Mid Wars so much. People don't get that it actually helps you in a lot of kind of situations.
It sounds like it sounds like a little bit of a silly idea, but I think you should do it.
Hey, it is a good idea. I like it. Like, you never get those kind of options to use that many spells, for example.
Right.
In any other mode. Like, you can play as much Kaldavar as you want, but you're like never gonna get that same amount of spells off. Like, it's constant action in Mid Wars.
And it's fun. Let's be honest, Mid Wars is pretty damn fun.
But alright, let's take a look at the game.
Cracking into charge away, got hit by the Skeleton King net from Ophelia. Speaking of Ophelia, she's at 300 GPM, so doing a much better than the Ophelia in the last game, which was, I think Max was playing it? Yeah.
Oh, no, Teltuk was playing it, I think.
Wasn't it on
Oh
the Legion
wait,
side?
no, never mind. Oh, okay,
side.
Yeah, I'm stupid.
I think Max is the Ophelia player for the Legion team, or for TZP. They switched the roles on around a little bit as well. I've seen Ganal play Soul Stealer. Now he's playing Tempest. I've seen him play mid. It's been strange. He was playing Crack in the last game. Yeah, it was Max playing the jungle Ophelia, and I think he was
bottom.
Or no, maybe not. Yes, no. They're gonna drop the mummy walls, and Skeleton King nets are gonna be there, at least one, and the other rest will just back off. So no real follow up anyway.
They can't be this passive. Like, it's like nothing is happening. They're still standing on their, like, the same lanes as they were laning on. Like, laning phase is over after you hit like level 5 or something.
Moon Queen's real dead, so they're agreeing that they can't be that passive. Gonna drop the Moonbeam ultimate though. It's not gonna be enough. They will get the kind of kill on the Kraken. In the background, actually, Soul Stealing gets the burst, and they will just absolutely destroy Kinesis. Inside, Glacial Blast going down onto Glacius, but they're also trying to lock down those Bubbles, who's got a haste rune though, so it looks like he will be okay. Their Rocket not going to catch anything, and actually TZP going to clean up these Ancients. So I think both sides kind of figuring Well, we have the late game, and
Oh,
I think
hell
Bleach
no.
is probably wrong about that.
Yeah, Pharaoh should have poured it in much earlier. Then would have had another kill. Now they're actually going into blind, and
But
oh,
nice
nice reps
ultimate from Rhapsody is going to be silenced out. We'll see if they can actually get this Tempest. They still do. Pharaoh now coming in. That might have been a really bad decision because they're still going to kill the Rhapsody. Now Pharaoh's going to kill himself. So it's a noble gesture, but he's going to die for this. Like, yeah, I want to help my team. Good for you. But I legit think one of the hardest lessons to learn in HoN is that guy's dead, he's dead, leave him be dead.
Yeah, definitely. We see that even in the highest rated games.
It's because it's just the instinct is help him, help your teammate, we can turn this, etc. And there's a fair number of situations where it's just that guy's dead, he's dead, let him be dead.
I remember what I said about Tempest as well earlier this game about his farm.
Yep, that hasn't continued.
He's dropped 100 GPM in the last 5 minutes. Like,
Well,
if they would have just gone for the Astro instead of the Mystic Vestment, if they would have farmed that up with the same speed which he had at early farm, and then it would have gone together as 5 people, nothing could have stopped them. They would have gotten so many towers and so many items. But instead, they just lurk behind, they just don't get the value of the towers. Pushing is so important.
Yeah.
And you just can't, like, look away from that. I mean, 1 tower is so much gold, especially for a support, for example.
And it's not only burst gold, it's map control, which often leads to even more gold because people can't farm safely and they can't support their teammates when they're getting ganked. So, especially tier 1 towers, very, very important to take those. But let's go back to something that you said way earlier, and how Tempest can't farm the woods because Soulstealer's farming the woods, which means that Tempest's GPM is going to become a problem, and that's why Ophelia would have made more sense because she doesn't need to farm the woods after the initial laning phase. And I think that's more or less what's happening because we just saw Soulstealer clear the entire woods, meanwhile Tempest is sort of trying to take Ancients with the help of multiple other people, and it's just not turning into farm.
Yeah. That's why they should have gone for the Astro and just taken like 2 towers bottom or something before Legion got the means to stop it, and then just farm their forest as well.
Right.
Now they're kind of stuck on this little map, or like their side, and yeah, it's only limited farm. Obviously, they're not even doing that much of a job of stacking. I mean, he's stacking 1 now, but he failed to stack the one where his elementals are farming. So.
And we'll finish off Kraken as they caught him with the Cult Field and managed to chase him down. So. Do you think the Ghost Marchers on Tempest is the right call? I like it myself.
I think it was really good when he had the kind of farm in the early game that he had, if they were gonna play active. But if they're just gonna sit behind, just stay with Red Marchers. Get your Astro or get your Portal Key or something like that instead. Like, I actually thought they were gonna like man up and go together as a unit because they had a great farm on several heroes. But that never happened. I mean, they're just stuck. I mean, Pharaoh, I mean, he's left bottom once during these 18 minutes, but that's it. They're just so passive in their lanes. It's like laning phase is still there. Like, they need to have a plan. Like, they need to be like, okay, so this item is about to finish up. Then we need to do a timing push, or maybe we should set up a gank over here, go as 5, like something like that. When are we stronger? Like, when are our lineup stronger? But right now it just feels like, yeah, alright, let's just play it passive and wait for and see what happens. And like, that's the second pickup at bottom during the last minute, I think. Kraken died like the same thing 30 seconds ago.
Yep.
Like, come on, guys. You need a plan. With
At
your
least
draft.
get a ward.
Yeah, that could be helpful as well.
Like, you're freaking continually farm that far down without a tier 1 tower, at least get a ward. I don't know. I think maybe Catlomane needs to not play Pharaoh for a little while until he's gotten some more.
At least he needs to move away and just be in, you know, fog all the time.
Oh,
Oh my
lane,
god, is
speaking
this
of...
gonna happen again? This is so ridiculous.
I feel bad because it seems like we're doing a lot of ragging on these teams, but this is not...
Yeah, but if you do that kind of mistake 3 times in a row,
Right.
in less than like 2 minutes, then like you deserve to play.
Like, occasionally I've gotten people saying that I'm a little bit too negative on these casts, and I think that's probably at least a little bit fair. I mean, I do tend to point out things that are going wrong more than I point out things that are going right, but that's largely because it's easier to point out the things that are going wrong. It's very difficult to just sit here and be like, wow, look at all the amazing things they're doing perfectly correctly. Like, they should be doing that. So, okay, they're doing the right thing. It's sort of hard to congratulate somebody excessively for doing that. And this series in particular, they have, both teams really, have repeatedly made decisions that neither of us understand, and then they're immediately punished for them, so it's not even like we can sit here and go, okay, they made a strange choice, but at least it worked out, so I guess that's what they were going for. It's just like, it's perfect justice, essentially. We say, yep, this thing is weird and wrong, they shouldn't do it, and then 10 seconds later they're punished for it. So.
And I think it also comes down to a bit that you're watching so many like top tier games in Diamond as well when you're doing your well, I'm not sure what you call it. Help.
I mean, to be fair, I watch all the gold games too. I'm pretty used to gold division play, and maybe it's just SpH. Maybe Short put the idea in my head that they're a little bit better than they are. I don't know why he did that, but I got the impression that he thought this was really a team to watch out for, and so I was thinking, you know, maybe still surprised, because like,
I don't know when it was that he was talking to you about that, but like as I said, like first when we started scrimming them, they seemed great, but after we played them, I wasn't as impressed anymore.
It was right after the series where you played them, I think, in the round of 16. Okay. Which is also weird because I watched that series and they didn't look that great either. So I was like, there are some things about them that I thought, okay, that's interesting. And considering you guys are one of those teams that's like barely in Diamond or barely out of gold, you're sort of straddling the border right now. If they can have a good showing against you, or at least a decent, interesting showing against you, coming up from silver, facing a team that many people consider to be a Diamond quality team. That's something, right? Because like that's
something.
You know.
But I also think it comes back to the fact that like when we started playing, they actually beat us like 2 games or something when we're new teams. So they were like, okay, we're stronger than we are, or they thought they were stronger than they actually were, because they have been playing versus bronze and silver teams and all that kind of stuff. Kind of had an easy way up to gold. And also I remember Shorkan saying that they were like, before gold started that cycle, they were like, okay, see you guys in Diamond next one, for example. So they were very high in spirit, but yeah, lack of good opponents and like lack of the will to improve is quickly gonna vanish if you not keep it up.
And I think the other thing is, I was really impressed by Rating Before Dating, aka WOG, Wake of Gods, who have been, they came out from silver recently and have been very, very good. Even getting some...
Yeah, funny how you say that.
Well, let's just leave it at that. I'm just saying they've played very well. That's I think that's indisputable.
I mean, they've been around in team matchmaking obviously for a long time, but
they've done well in gold, especially considering that they haven't been in gold for a long time. It's been a relatively new team, at least in HoN Tour, and this is they've done well for their first entrance into gold division. They got a top 10 vote actually from somebody in the power rankings. So
I would feel like that's a great benefit and all that, but like I love when new teams actually approach the scene. It's good for everyone, but in this case I just don't like the players. They're just so cocky and trash talking and all that kind of stuff, so yeah,
that's not
kind of ruins the mood.
It's not an uncommon opinion, let's just put it at that. But anyway, the point is, I feel like maybe I'm a little more receptive to a team coming in from silver and surprising, so I was kind of hoping SpH would be the same situation. TZP, on the other hand, I do expect more than this out of them. I mean, I wouldn't have at the beginning of the season, I wouldn't have maybe even a cycle or 2 in, but they looked very good last cycle, and they looked pretty good in cycle 3 as well. Ever since they picked up Count Crappy to play carry for them, and they picked up Yellow Train to play the suicide role, but it looks like he's sort of transitioning into a mid. They're not really sure how they're going to put these heroes in their particular roles. I feel like they're better than this, and that they shouldn't be making some of the mistakes they're making. But yeah, bottom tower is denied. And speaking of that, TZP unable to finish off a tower that they probably should have been able to kill.
They were standing still, hitting it. Like Bubbles could just, I mean, he had like a second in between two zero attacks, just deny it. That was really sloppy.
And that's more or less exactly what I'm talking about.
And they got a token again, this team, but they're not gonna do anything with it. They're just gonna leave it at that. Instead of going for the bottom tower, 2 towers with the token, they go for the top tower. It gets denied, and then they're like, okay, we don't have enough time, let's just wait for another Kongor. It's just so many leader calls that are not happening, I guess.
And honestly, in TZP that might be an issue, because Catlamain is drafting right now, and Ganal's drafted for TZP for a while, so they might be having some issues at the top of their team, figuring out who's the in-game captain, who's the drafting guy, what's going on in that manner. And, well, if you're going to run some tune-up games, and Catlamain's going to learn how to play Pharaoh, then this is probably about where you want to do it, because your opponents are not going to get easier going forward.
That's true.
But on the other hand, maybe you should just do this in scrims instead.
Yeah, that could be an option. But yeah, once again, I mean, these games are so passive.
Yeah, they really are.
They are literally just sitting at their lanes.
SpH has 16 hero kills, which isn't terrible in 26 minutes. TZP only has 5, which is
I'm pretty sure
really
like 10
terrible.
of them have been at the bot lane though.
They've got a Kraken and a Pharaoh and they have 5 hero kills. Like, that's not enough. You need to have... And they really haven't been trying. Like you said, it's been very passive. You need to have more than that.
Right, so both teams are comfortable in taking this late, I guess. But...
Right. I think SpH might have miscalculated their late game.
The Hellborn have destroyed a Legion tower.
I feel like it's okay, but Moon Queen's not going to be enough against Soulstealer, Kraken, Tempest.
I agree, definitely agree on that.
Especially if Farah gets a puzzle box, but she's got barbed armor. Okay. Should have gotten a puzzle box first, but barbed armor is not a bad choice. Now please, for the love of God, get a puzzle box.
I don't even feel like it's gonna come to that point in this game. I mean, he has no farm whatsoever. I would say that this game should escalate rather soon, but never mind, just to say that, they're porting back to the bottom lane to defend yet another tower. Why not just trade this one for another?
I don't know. Soulstealer going to pop up his BKB actually and port away, which is a little bit iffy. That's his 10-second drunken. Meanwhile, next on the Rhapsody gets absolutely blown up by the mass control. Yeah, that was a 10-second drunken he just used to port away. Ophelia going to try to drop the slow onto Kraken, who's just going to leave. Meanwhile, off into the woods a little bit. Tempest going to get caught out. Pops the Astrolabe to try to live. That's not going to happen. He's really squishy, even with his investments. And they do manage to finish off Kraken as well. So all of a sudden, Legion getting 3 more hero kills. And that turned out
I have no words for what happened.
Alright, this is the
Kraken
thing.
turned around. Kraken turned around when he faced Ophelia, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna run this way instead. And then he encountered the Glacius.
Look at Soulstealer's items.
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't really want to interrupt you, but...
No, it wasn't anything necessarily.
Like,
just saying that...
He's got nothing offensive. There's no offensive stats there. Nullstone and Shrunken Head and a Portal Key. There's no agility anywhere. There's no right-click damage except for from the stats you get from the Nullstone and from the Warhammer part of the Shrunken, which really isn't substantial.
Why does he even need a Nullstone in this game? Like, makes no sense. If he's gonna rush a BKB anyway, like, why would you need a Nullstone?
It's a good farming item, I guess, but get a Firebrand or something, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like he's taking tons of stacks that he needs a mana regen that badly, or that they have some superior single target spell like a Hammerstorm or a Succubus or something like that. Or a Mage Bane.
Well, it'll stop the freeze of the Moonbeam.
Yeah, but like, the BKB is already there, you know?
I know.
Oh boy, okay, here we go.
I'm really confused. Anyway, the Warriors are going to catch it out. Mass Control coming in from Kinesis. They're going to bust up Rhapsody in the background here. So also going to drop the ultimate with the Shrunken Head up, but it really doesn't do all that much. Wrathfire in the background will catch Moon Queen, but he gets jumped out of that. Release the Kraken beyond Pharaoh's head. They will finally kill him. Catlamain managed to finish it off with Moon Queen somehow. I don't really know how he did that. Either way, Tempest going to drop the ultimate onto 2 heroes. Soul's actually going to buy back, and he's going to come in looking for multiple
that's nice.
They will manage to kill both Bubbles and Kinesis. Now Glacius going to try to run away. That's not going to happen as the Glacial Blasts go down onto him. It's not so much fun when your own element is used against you. Now, is it, Person?
No.
He takes the
That was actually well played by Tempest and Soulstealer, the communication between the two. Superheroes definitely didn't expect that ultimate to come out from or that position. But yeah, I have no clue how Moon Queen actually died.
She just sort of did. Well.
Yeah, but she had BKB up, Soul Seeder dropped, and like I have no clue what killed her.
I think it might have been the rocket. I was unsure.
But he had BKB, didn't he? He
It
just
might
used
have
his
worn off.
BKB.
It might have worn off.
But isn't it 10 seconds though? I think that was the first time. Yeah, it was the first time. That fight didn't last 10 seconds, I'm pretty sure.
Literally the only thing I can think of is the rocket, because he was outside of the mummy walls. He got push-booked out of them right before the Kraken ultimate went off.
That's weird.
And
maybe his ultimate.
Well,
like,
there goes the Nullstone, and he's gonna run away. No, it's canceled. His teleport's canceled. Shrunkenhead's gonna be wearing off in a couple of seconds. They're gonna have to be able to continue to set the portal key. There goes Shrunken, and Cookie's gonna get the kill. Soul Stealer dead for 8 seconds.
Nice macro.
He's still got a buyback
Nice
left,
micro.
but yeah, that was very well played from Ophelia. So let's say something positive for once. That was extremely impressive from Boss 16.
I think Taltok has been playing well this entire game,
Very
actually.
Taltok,
I wasn't too
absolutely.
impressed with the Tempest in the last game with that weird item build, but this Ophelia is much better at least.
Yeah. So there you go, Nullstone proving so effective that it cancels one of the Skeleton King nets so that the other two go through.
Yeah, exactly. Oh god.
I just...
Is that why he
I
got
don't know,
it?
man. I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not either. Or I hope not too.
Well, how's Fair gonna come through? Is Fair gonna steal a token? No, he does not. And
Oh,
he picks up
God.
the token, and that's Midrax.
Guess it would have been worth it if he got it, but that's such a huge risk.
Fair's got buyback, and he might need to use it. There's no time to Soul Ultimate for 50 seconds. Kraken Ultimate is available, but Soul Stealer's still dead as well. He does have a buyout, but they're just gonna take Midrax. Tier 2's are up in both other lanes, so they won't be able to get anything else out of this unless they just go take a Tier 2, which is also
Hellborn
possible.
barracks has been
Yeah, looks like that's what we're
destroyed.
gonna do. We're gonna rotate to the bottom lane, take out a Tier 2 there. Maybe continue to push, but I kind of hope not, because they probably don't want to try to defend or try to break high ground against Soul Stealer and everybody. So they're able to back
The
up.
Legion have destroyed a Hellborn tower.
So, there's some good decision making. They
Yep.
get token, they immediately push a lane, they take another tower. Oh wait. It only took 30 minutes in the game too for them to figure that out.
Yeah, exactly. And what is Hellborn gonna respond with now? Another 10 minutes of farming? Yeah, I think so.
They're just getting massively outplayed right now is the problem. Like, they should have this late game if it goes for long enough. The problem is, at this point, they're just not playing the way they need to win this series.
Yeah, but I just haven't seen one single like team decision. I haven't seen one thing that actually like pointed out against a plan or something. They've just been doing their own thing.
Once again, he's continuously forced to use his Shrunken to teleport.
No Hellfire?
Well, guess not. I'm not sure why he didn't use it. He did catch him just barely with the ultimate, so maybe he didn't have enough range for it.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe he forgot if they had it, he just picked it up. But
MQ's going for Wingbow here, which is not a pickup that I disagree with really by itself. Speaking of that, in the middle lane, she's going to get cut off pretty effectively. Drops the ultimate, but going to be eaten by a lot of creeps, and she's going to lose her token right here. She hasn't used her Shrunken head up yet, but she's going to get eaten by the Tempest ultimate and just completely locked down. Yeah, that wasn't great positioning.
what the hell was that?
And she has no buyback now because she bought the Wingbow.
Oh god.
So,
I mean, that's almost 2 racks. There should be 2 racks, I think.
yeah.
If the Hellborn team just mans up.
Well, they don't have a Tempest ultimate. They do have a Kraken ultimate though and a Rap Steel. So yeah, there should be at least a one set of racks.
Destroyed a Legion tower.
They just keep pushing. Keep pushing, guys. You can do it. We believe in you. They may not know she doesn't have buyback, so they're being kind of cautious here.
But are you serious? You can't let an opportunity like this go
You gotta
away.
force the BB and then back up.
Oh god, I'm done.
The Hellborn have destroyed
That is so
a
frustrating.
Legion
Like,
tower.
yeah, exactly. If he has a buyback, which you don't even know if he has, then you have to force it out.
I honestly see this play made so often, where there isn't a buyback available, and the other team doesn't know that, which is understandable and completely fair, but the point is, you put pressure on until they use the buyback, and then you immediately get out. Which you can do, because you have portal keys on 3 heroes, so it's not like you're gonna get caught all that horribly.
And they don't have anything that can catch the Soul Stealer if he's in front, for example.
Right. They got Shrunken Heads on PK and PKs on 3 heroes. So who's gonna catch you? Nobody. You force the buyback, you leave, you use the Shrunken if you need to, but then you've got, if they don't have the buyback, then you get Rax. If they do have the buyback, then you get one of 2 buybacks available from Moon Queen, which evens up the one that Soul Stealer uses.
Yeah. So, well, okay, at least SuperHeroes is making the right choice now.
Yeah, they're pushing.
To go push versus the Tempest Ultimate, which is down.
Okay, so speaking of it, Moon Queen picked up the Wing Bow, and actually Soul Stealer encounter with a Wing Bow of his own. Which makes Moon Queen's Wing Bow better, actually, hilariously enough. Because before this, if Moon Queen had gone Symbol, that would have been better, I feel like. She actually has some damage output from the Geometer's Bane, and so much of their damage output right now is magical before the Wing Bow on Soul Stealer. So if she just got the tank from the Axe, and then the additional lifesteal from the Symbol activation, I don't feel like Wing Bow did too much for her before the SS Wing Bow. Now I guess.
No, I think it was the reasoning that he had, or she had the token.
Soulburst's gonna be right there, onto Moon Queen, gonna try to save her with the Storm Spirit. She's gonna pop the ultimate and the Shrunken Head, but she's gonna die here. And that's not gonna be anything. She did use her ulti and the Shrunken. Didn't matter. They did manage to kill Pharaoh in the meantime, but obviously that's a 1-for-1 that the Hellborn side will take. Glacius has a bound to eye and has to be careful not to feed it. We'll drop it and kill it before he dies, realizing pretty quickly that he probably wasn't going to get out of there. Kinesis trying to run away. In the meantime, actually, he managed to finish off Bubbles with a counter kill onto Kraken off to the side here. Kinesis is trying to chase and run away. Tempest not going to be able to get Glacial Blast down, and Kinesis will be just fine. Yellow Train asking where he's at.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure no one cancelled portal keys, or a Kinesis portal key, so he should definitely have been able to use that Storm Spirit on Moon Queen before Soul Stealer got his ultimate off. That would have turned the entire fight around.
Yeah.
That one play. But apparently he wasn't ready. Yeah,
I guess,
but he was stunned, I think, by
the
breath.
Forgot about that. Either way.
But yeah, just one more thing that the thing that you mentioned with the Wing Bow earlier on Moon Queen. I think the reason for why she picked up the Wing Bow before the Symbol was that she had a token. She was like, okay, I can be tanky, like even without the Symbol, since I got a token. But then she just went out of position and died. So, and Wing Bow was already in the courier, so she couldn't really sell it back. But yeah, I think that was the reason, at least.
All right, I can buy that. You're off the hook now. Or for now, Queen. But I'm watching you. Just wait.
There's a lot of people we're watching right now.
It's just... Alright, well, I do like the Wing Bow pickup on Soul Stealer, at least. That's going to be valuable. He's going to have pretty significant range at this point, and it's going to be difficult for the Legion side to catch up to him. Especially in team fights, given the disruptive nature of the Kraken ultimate, the Mummy Walls, and the Tempest ulti. Plus, Rhapsody can sit even further back now, as she will have some more distance between her and the enemy team, so you can save that SS.
Yeah, I don't get how Ophelia can have so much gold. Like 340 GPM, 40 minutes in.
That's pretty impressive. Especially because Moon Queen isn't really suffering for it.
Yeah, as long as she doesn't, it's good. But
and nobody is. Bubbles is 365 GPN, Kinesis is at 310, so...
I mean, he hasn't died a single time. He's 606 actually, so...
Yeah. This entire Legion team is farming very well, in fact. Well, the 26 hero kills, no doubt.
They are, that's actually quite surprising. It doesn't feel like they're that...
It doesn't.
I've been doing that well.
I really like getting these Hellflowers, man. I don't know why Bubbles is a Hellflower. I just...
Oh, you mean the bubbles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd much prefer
I don't
Sheep
like it
as
either.
well.
Like, he's getting a little bit more tanky, or I mean, not tanky, what am I saying? A little bit more carry-ish with the Hellflower, because he gets the damage buff. But still, I feel like Moon Queen is enough. As long as they got locked down for Moon Queen, he's gonna take care of the rest.
More or less. And Moon Queen gonna slow push this tower with her illusions.
The
Not actually
Legion
all
has
that slow
destroyed
push.
a Hellborn tower.
Hands will kill them in the meantime. So Hellborn side with plenty of deep push of their own with that Soul Stealer.
Do we have a Conquer timer,
Yeah.
perhaps?
I think that's what I was thinking the exact same thing. Conquer should be up in just a couple of minutes, probably even less. So I would imagine that's what Legion are waiting for. They want to keep these lanes pushed out so that when Congo respawns, they can take it quickly, turn a token into another Rax, and take the game. So, in the meantime, Hellborn has to be aware of this. They do have a ward that's going to spot the Congo pit out, so if Legion do go for it, then they will be spotted.
Yep, and the Hellborn got one in the river just below Conquer as well, which they kind of need to take care of, which the support player, which is Glacius, should be doing. Oh, actually, he just got 6 counter wards. Hooray. Kind of feel like that Bound Eye would have been a little bit better, though.
Yeah, they already bought one and he had to kill it, so maybe he's
But
thinking...
6 Word of Revelation.
Yeah, it's weird.
Come on, I mean, you can still miss the word. You don't even know if it's uphill or
And
not.
he's gonna miss. Is he gonna miss?
If he's missing, is he gonna get it with the 6?
He
Oh
missed
my
all
god.
6. Glacius, no. 0 for 6.
Wow,
That's
that's
painful.
just... Why did you not buy 7? Come on. 7 is the lucky number.
Look, at this point, if he's gonna miss with 6 straight, I'm not really favoring his chances even if he got 7. Although I suppose at some point he has to hit a ward, because they just run out of places to put counter wards. Poor Glacius. But yeah, that's a
No, but you
situation
need a
you
Bound
look
Eye
at
at this
you
point
look
of the
and you
game.
think you need an
Especially
eye.
if you have the map control and you're up here pushing the secondary racks.
Kinesis? No, not gonna get the jump onto Kraken. Actually needs a demon hand for his trouble.
And Congo is up, but Hellborn got full vision. Alright, so they're just gonna wait here. Moon Queen should at least start it.
And I mean, I'm not even sure if Legion were really looking to de-ward Kongor, because all these rev wards got placed in places that are not near the Kongor pit. I think they were looking to try to see the Legion team coming over just as much, and in fact their own ward of sight is going to get countered. So that was their main source of actual vision, and now most of their plan has gone away.
Everything that I worked so hard for in the last 2 minutes is gone.
Yeah.
By one word. Like,
oh, there's
that's
one in
pretty
middle
cool.
as well, so there's deep lane one in mid. So that's going to see them coming
yeah,
through.
I guess.
And Legion will back off, it looks like. Kongor about a half health. Nope, off to the side. They're going to jump on top of Kraken, who's Hellflowered. Mass Control goes through, so still looking for the ultimate here. Is going to try to get it. He's going to pop the ultimate, and they will get the Tempest ultimate as well. Moon Queen getting locked down pretty effectively, but yes, showing down already in the background. Storm Spirit going to Rhapsody. It's going to stop her ulti, and Count Dracula is dead. Meantime, they will only kill the Rhapsody on the Hellborn side. After Soul Slayer buys back, there goes Curse on the Glacius. Moon Queen is still alive somewhere. Oh, she got ported back by Ophelia. I'm like, where the hell is Moon Queen? Sorry, that was a very weird fight for me. Kraken also bought back. He's coming back in, looking for the kill on the Ophelia. The first one, in fact, and they finally do get it. Soul Stealer is here as well, trying to finish off Kinesis. That's not going to happen. Bubble's going to push Book himself away, continuing to try to sip this bottle, and he's not going to get charged into the pit, so he won't be stunned, but another PK from Kraken, and that's plenty to finish off Bubbles. And this is going to turn into a Kongor kill for the Hellborn team, actually. And this Moon Queen is here looking to defend, but she does not have a Shrunken or an ultimate.
They bought back on both Ophelia and Bubbles as well,
Yeah.
so...
is that going to be enough? I guess so.
Yeah, they have to.
Well, Fargar may go down there, and Kraken can actually find the charge onto a fake Moon Queen. And in the background, Fargar goes down, they manage to kill Kraken as well, teleport away from Soul Stealer, and he's going to be fine, but... Now, it's a Kongor kill for the Hellborn, for the Legion side. And Max is kind of like hanging out there, I can't do anything about that, so I'm just going to leave. And
No one's taking bananas.
yeah, I was like, again, really? That just happened in one of the HoN Tour games we covered, and I... No, wait, I had to mention it in chat because Breaky and Mini Mega missed it too. I was like,
Oh, wow.
there's bananas on the ground, guys. pause and go straight through that. But this is going to be the second set of racks for the Legion team, and maybe Mega
A
Creeps.
Hellborn barracks has been destroyed.
Yeah.
Barracks has been
This is
destroyed.
Yeah.
This is game. Is there anything TZP? No, they got no Tempest ultimate. Kraken's dead for 30 seconds. He has no buyback. Soulstealer has an ultimate and a shrunken head, but it's not going to be enough. And well, tier 2 tower on top will be taken down pretty damn quickly.
I really feel like the Tempest players have like contributed to
Legion have
nothing, or the hero
destroyed a
itself has done
Hellborn
nothing
tower.
in these 2 games that we have covered today.
Yeah,
Like, he's just been there, like around, but his ultimates have been like doing nothing, and
they're really
like they have
mediocre.
not been using him to push anything. They've not been using his astro timing. Doesn't feel like they know how to play him correctly.
And I don't think that's really a fault of the hero at all. It does seem like the players are not really sure about what to do with that hero.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm not concerned about the viability of Tempest.
No, of course not. If you have slapped on Tempest, then you won't lose the game.
He did lose once. I think he's got a loss now on Tempest.
Okay.
But he was
He's not
like
happening too
9-0
often at
for a
least.
while. And yeah, I think now
Yeah,
he's like
his force play is seriously insane.
I think
Especially
he's like
the Tempest.
13-2 or something like that, maybe. It's Keizu's Swiftblade that's still ridiculous. I think he's 11-0 on Swiftblade. Which, it was a lot less impressive before Sync lost a bunch of games in Cycle 4, but even with how much Sync wins, it's still pretty impressive to see somebody go 11-0 on a single hero.
Yep. Can't disagree with that. Alright, so slow pushing indeed.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, why not? I mean, they can. The other 2 lanes are going to constantly push in. Hellborn have to continuously address them.
Yeah, I think it's the right decision, but when they see 4 heroes in mid, or 3 heroes, which they saw
Right.
like 2 seconds ago, or for example, the Soulstealer being bottom now, then they should push in. At least with the Moon Queen, with the token. Come on, guys.
And they're constantly using these Geometry Bane illusions, but actually getting knocked down pretty damn fast by that Meteor from Tempest.
Very risky plays by Boss on Bubbles as well. He's using the Shell Surf every single time offensively.
Yeah,
If he
Kraken
gets jumped by the
missing
Kraken,
So, Kraken trying to
I
jump
mean, look at
people.
it. Bubbles, once again, using the Shell Surf for I don't know what purpose, but that's super risky.
Soulstealer's now using his portal key to jump over to the towers and defend them, which should be definitely be the cue for them to just sit on these racks. But
Yeah.
they're playing pretty damn cautious. Okay, they will finally get the initiation on the Moon Queen. They're going to lock him down pretty effectively. Storm Spirit goes off, though, and we'll see if they get out of this. Shaman is going to let her live for now. I guess the newest blessing as well, but she's going to lose a token right off the bat. Has a shrunken head as she comes back up, as well as the Moon Queen ultimate, but she's going to get locked out with a Tempest ultimate. It's not going to be stopped, as there's no cancel for the shrunken head. Here, finally, the Moon Queen ultimate comes out. Wraps the ultimate not going to hit onto Kraken, and she'll die as well. Hellflower goes on to Tempest. Soulbor's going to crush Moon Queen, but Count Crapula still in some trouble. Going to lock down everybody, though. Is he going to get this?
Hit
Is he gonna
him!
win? Wingbow! Wingbow!
my
Wingbow!
God!
Wingbow!
Oh damn, that's so close! God, that was crazy. That was really crazy. I never thought it would last that long.
Wingbow.
Uh,
Wingbow. Alright, well, he's out of buybacks now. Moon Queen has bought out and is heading, I assume, straight to top lane. Yeah, there go the post haste. She's going to TP in. You have to be careful about where she goes. It's going to be like cannon, and they won't be able to stop that. So she's also bought an axe, but didn't get it delivered to her. They also lose a tower in mid.
no, I think she sold it again for the buyback.
Oh.
No, wait.
Maybe
did
she
she
just
sell
had
it?
that much money.
Buyback.
I don't think it matters,
No.
honestly.
Game is 100% over.
A Hellborn
That's
barracks
Mega
has been
Creeps.
destroyed.
And their base is
A
more or less
Hellborn
dead
barracks has been
anyway, so...
destroyed.
And Count Crapula nearly got like RNG and crushed everything. They do
The
charge
Legion have
Kinesis of
destroyed
the well,
a
but
Hellborn
at this
tower.
point it's mostly symbolism. Considering Legion have Mega Creeps, so expecting the CC vote any second now. And it looks like SpH gonna take game 2. And that will tie the series up 1-1. That'll push us to game 3 between these two teams. Fine, taking a fair bit of damage. And Soul Stealer's back up. So, I mean, Moonqueen doesn't have a buyback.
No,
Neither
that's
does Ophelia or Bubbles. And both Glacius and Kinesis are down to 1.
But with that many post-hates on the Legion side, it's not gonna matter because they can't make it over to the Hellborn or the Legion side before, there are 5 Legion players in their own base.
Yeah. And
And so
Tempest
Consider-
Ultimate as well. Well, he's kind of hanging out up here. He will get caught by the Kelp. He'll give me force spot the Shrunken and walk out, but now that's going to be on cooldown for a while. It's going to be their cue to counter jump. I'm going to slow the Kraken down a little bit, do some damage, prevent his portal key. Bubble's going to eat the Torrent and end the charge. He's going to die really fast. And Boundai gets
Yeah,
picked
but
up by
the throne.
Kraken.
Look at the throne.
Yeah.
Nobody's defending.
Pharaoh has a Wrath in to try to defend this. And meantime, the top lane, Soul Stealer Shrunken Head is down, and now that's going to be their cue to jump on him once again. At least the Kraken going to be right on top of Moon Queen's head, though. Doesn't have a that doesn't matter. Gets push booked out, walks right back into the Kraken ultimate because hey, why not? Let's just keep doing that. Rhapsody ult actually nice, going to stop some damage, but immediately canceled. Soul Stealer also going to fall, and yeah, there's the CC vote as they're going to lose the game. So TZP putting up as much of a defense as they possibly could, and apparently this series is just not going to end. So we are going to a game 3, and it was, in the end, a fairly well-played game by SpH. I think TZP had their opportunities once again, but couldn't quite capitalize. I don't know, you have anything else on that game?
No, not really. Just feel like the teams really need to perish their momentum a lot more, or their item pickups. They need to actually care for their timings a lot more than they actually are, because right now, and they should also roam around a lot more during the early game, obviously. They shouldn't be so static in those lanes, because I think it took 30 minutes or something before they actually left their lanes that game.
Alright.
They should definitely, as soon as Pharaoh hits level 6, they should just TP to the top lane and get a kill on Kinesis or something.
Right.
That's what they should do.
It's the same theory. It's the suicide bubbles. You get a kelp field, and your first instinct should be either I'm going somewhere else to gank, or mid is coming to my lane to gank. And usually it's the latter. Occasionally it's usually it's the former. Occasionally it's the latter, especially if you have a hard carry up against you in your lane. You want to shut them down, but either way, I mean, you get a really, really powerful ultimate like that, and you really shouldn't. There's no point in just hanging out in the lane. But
Yeah.
I do want to
Especially if you have a hero like Pharaoh, which is
Right.
if you're in fog, the enemy team has to back off.
Yeah, that's the thing, the fear factor it creates. It's like Fade. People should play more Fade, but they don't. It's fine. It's a whole separate discussion that we won't get into in the meantime. I do want to address something the Twitch chat is bringing up. The fact that Moon Queen gets picked up constantly throughout the mid-late game, and his early buybacks, early Shrunken Head stop the entire point of the Storm Spirits when he gets jumped. For example, the fight at bottom, when Soul Stealer and Pharaoh initiate on Moon Queen, Soul Stealer lets ult off, but then Moon Queen uses BKB, so what's the point of the Storm Spirits? The reason that they picked up the Storm Spirit was because Moon Queen can't get her BKB off before, because she gets stunned out, as I failed to acknowledge before, and then you've so rightly corrected me. Moon Queen gets stunned by the Wrath of the Pharaoh, the Soul Burst goes right on top of that, and it's a bunch of burst damage. If they can get the Storm Spirit off during the stun, they can prevent the burst damage onto MQ, and so even if she has a token, that's going to obviously substantially increase her uptime. This was more or less a 4 Protect 1 strat on the Legion side, and to some extent on the Hellborn side as well. So the point of the Storm Spirit is essentially to try to mitigate as much burst damage against Moon Queen as possible. Any of that wrong? Anything else?
No, I think that's correct.
That's more or less what their thinking was. So thanks to KA for the contribution in Twitch chat. Always good to see people engaged in and thinking about the game. And
KA is actually Teltuk, the Ophelia player from that game.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
You learn something new every day.
That's weird, because he was buying Storm Spirit. Wait, what? Are you screwing with me? I don't understand what's happening.
I'm not screwing with you.
K and then 3_A is Teltuk from the same game.
Yes.
But yeah, okay. When Moon Queen uses BKB, they can't Storm Spirit the MQ. That's true. The whole point of the Storm Spirit is to use it purposefully because she cannot get a BKB off. So if she can get BKB off, they don't need the Storm Spirit, in which case, yeah, it's more or less a useless item unless the BKB wears off and the fight's still going. But if they can save her from getting Soul Bursted right in her face, then it's worth it. So. What? If he's in chat asking these questions, then why would he be in the game buying Storm Spirits?
I'm not 100% sure about the point, but I think it was more of a notify towards that they don't really trust in Moon Queen's ability to use the BKB at the right times or something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you mean. Yes, but she got jumped by a full Soul Stealer ult, and then uses Shrunken Sword. 2 Storm Spirits gets wrecked. Yeah, but the Storm Spirit has to come before she pops the BKB. What do you mean?
So in that fight that you're talking about in the bottom lane, they didn't play it particularly well. Kinesis wasn't quick enough with his Storm Spirit to get it off before the Soul Burst came off. So their lack of execution doesn't negate the theory of the idea. It's just that they didn't get it off soon enough. But if they get it off during the Wrath of the... So Moon Queen gets hit with the Wrath of the Pharaoh stun, and during that stun, Soul Stealer comes in and gets the Soul Burst off. Now, Moon Queen can't get the BKB because she's stunned by the Wrath of the Pharaoh, but she can get Storm Spirited by her teammate. And if she does that, she's invulnerable, so she doesn't take any damage from the Soul Stealer ultimate because she's in the air. But she can't get used by... So she can't use the BKB prior because she's stunned. That's the initiation. The initiation is the Wrath of the Pharaoh stun. So, I don't know. Either way, hopefully that made sense to it. I don't think it's worth talking about for like 2 hours because I think most people understand the idea. But anyway, that'll do it for game 2 as SpH takes it. So, well played to them. TZP going to be a little bit less cavalier maybe about game 3, I would hope. But anyway, we'll be right back with that, so stick around, guys.